By 1942, the Allied threat of invasion loomed large over occupied Europe. To counter it, Adolf Hitler issued Führer Directive No. 51, demanding an impregnable Atlantic wall stretching thousands of miles along the western coast. This colossal project, spearheaded by the organization TOT, required immense resources. Millions of tons of concrete, steel, and timber were poured into its construction. From the icy fjords of Norway to the Bay of Biscay, the wall was not a single continuous barrier, but a vast network of reinforced strongpoints. Its backbone consisted of thousands of concrete bunkers, known as Regelbauten, built to standardized designs. These ranged from machine gun nests and command posts to vast shelters for infantry and supplies. Each was designed to withstand heavy bombardments. Coastal artillery positions were paramount. Heavy guns, often captured French or Czech pieces, were mounted in thick concrete casemates. The largest batteries, like the Todt battery near Calais, housed formidable naval guns capable of shelling Allied shipping in the English Channel. The pace of construction intensified in 1943, but progress was uneven. Many areas remained lightly defended. German soldiers, engineers, and forced laborers worked ceaselessly, often under harsh conditions, to solidify their positions. The scale was immense. By D-Day, over 17 million cubic meters of concrete had been poured into the Atlantic Wall. The purpose was clear: deny the Allies any foothold, repel the invasion, and make Europe an impenetrable fortress. But was it truly impregnable? Doubts began to surface, even within the German High Command. In late 1943, Field Marshal Rommel took command of Army Group B, responsible for defending much of the Atlantic coast. Rommel was appalled by the lack of prepared defenses on the beaches. He believed the invasion would be crushed at the waterline, not inland. He ordered an aggressive campaign to fortify the invasion beaches with a terrifying array of obstacles. These included millions of mines, laid indiscriminately in vast fields. Czech jeżowce welded steel barriers designed to tear open landing craft studded the low tide line. Belgian gates, massive steel anti-tank obstacles, were dragged into position. Wooden stakes, sharpened and often tipped with mines, pointed skyward from submerged positions, earning them the nickname Rommel's asparagus. Beyond the beaches, flooded fields and further minefields were intended to disrupt airborne landings and slow any advance. German soldiers, many relatively young or battle-worn veterans, manned these defenses, training for the inevitable fight. Life on the wall was often monotonous, punctuated by patrols, maintenance, and the constant threat of Allied air reconnaissance. Artillerymen meticulously maintained their guns, ready to unleash devastating fire on approaching fleets. Anti-aircraft batteries, including the feared 88mm flak guns, guarded key positions against Allied air power. Communication centers, often deep underground, linked the scattered strongpoints, preparing for a coordinated defense. The Channel Islands, heavily fortified, became a microcosm of the wall's construction, bristling with bunkers and tunnels. Allied intelligence, through aerial reconnaissance and resistance networks, began to piece together the wall's strengths and weaknesses. As June 1944 arrived, the German defenders braced themselves. They knew the invasion was coming, but not exactly where or when. On June 6th, D-Day, the Atlantic Wall faced its ultimate test. Thousands of Allied ships and aircraft descended upon the Normandy coast. Despite heavy shelling and bombing, many of the wall's concrete strongpoints held, inflicting terrible casualties on the attacking forces. At Point du Hoc, U.S. Rangers scaled cliffs under fire, neutralizing German casemates, but at immense cost. On Omaha Beach, fierce German fire from Bunker R626 and other positions nearly repelled the American landings.
However, the wall proved to be a line, not a shield. Once breached, its static nature became a liability.
The Allied advance, though hard-won, eventually pushed inland, isolating and bypassing many of the remaining strongpoints. Many German garrisons held out for weeks or months, becoming beleaguered fortresses, eventually surrounded and overcome. The Atlantic Wall failed to prevent the Allied invasion. Its enormous construction effort consumed resources Germany desperately needed elsewhere. Today, its stark concrete ruins stand as silent monuments along the European coastline. Weather-beaten and reclaimed by nature, they bear witness to a monumental undertaking.
A chilling reminder of a war that reshaped a continent, and the desperate, ultimately futile, attempt to hold back the tide of history.